Good evening, everyone. In this class, it is the second class of ESI. As I told you, in this class, we will discuss about the elasticity concept of law of demand. I hope everyone has watched the first lecture of the ESI, that is law of demand. So I hope, hopefully, everyone has liked the video, right, on our YouTube platform also and in the course also. So now, since this elasticity concept we will talk about. What do you understand by elastic? Elastic, if you will hear the word elastic, the first thing that will come in your mind is rubber band. When you stretch the rubber band, what you are actually stretching means what? That you are pulling it or pushing it. Then pull and push is simple words we have studied in the class 6th also, right? That it is the meaning of force. Force is actually a push, right? So you are applying a force on a rubber band. So what does it come? How how long it can be stretched, right, while applying the force, and how it will how hard it will respond while applying the force. So elastic is something that responds when you put a force on it. So uh, elastic is something that responds when you put a force on it. Example, a rubber band. Example is a rubber band, right? So in economics, this is a general understanding for elastic. In economics, what you think in law of demand, what are the factors which were impacting? The major factors was price, income, and price of other goods. These are the three major factors. Rest, expectations of future price, the determinants I'm talking about. These are general terms. Special circumstances, size of market, yeah, taste and preferences. These four are the general term. These three, right? These three: price, income, price of other products, that is substitute goods and complement goods. Income mein, it is normal goods and inferior goods, and price we have all seen. So these are some of the variables or factors which are determining quantity data demanded. So they are applying some forces. According to this forces, quantity demanded is being changed. So that's why the concept of elasticity has been used in law of demand also, right? So basically in economics, this three category: price, income, price of other products, has been applying a force that affects our decision to buy. Affects our decision to buy. When we'll buy up something, that means we are demanding something. Is it clear? So basically, when you will break this word, price is the because quantity demanded is inversely proportional to price, we have seen, and price is independent factor. We see that quantity demanded is inversely proportional to price in law of demand, considering all the other factors constant. That is known as Latin word ceteris paribus. So these three factors basically affect the quantity demanded mainly. These are the some core terms, which is price, income, and price of other goods. So basically we can say that price is the force that impact the demand. ठीक है? Price क्या है? एक force है. Price क्या, जैसे कि if you will see that F equal to ma, अगर if anyone knows, so this mass is a independent thing. Everyone has this different masses. According to this mass and acceleration to that body, force is being applied. Similarly, if you will see the equation, that is q dx minus mpy plus c, this equation in which price is independent, right, and qd it is dependent. Okay, demand is, that is qd is inversely proportional to price. With increase or decrease in price, quantity demand will respond. So basically price is what it is doing. This independent variable is what doing? It is putting a force on what? Demand. So whenever the word force will come, the concept of elasticity will come. Is it clear? So in this law of demand, price is the force that impacts demand. Or usually you can see it, when the force will get applied, obviously one thing will respond. So the rubber band will, when it is stretched very much, it will respond, whether it will break out, or it will stretched, or getting more stretched, getting more elastic. So basically price is the force that impacts the demand. So demand क्या कर रहा है, उसके हिसाब से respond कर रहा है to price. With the change in price, demand is getting responded to it, right? Responded to it. So it is known as it is known as that price is changing with demand. Price is a force and demand is responding to it. So the elasticity concept will come. So you need to understand that demand is a response. Demand क्या एक response है, what, to change in price, and change in price क्या एक force है. So price is a force and demand is a response to it. So demand is response, the another name. So it is very easy to understand. So another name of response is elastic. Whenever you will get confused with the word elastic, just change the name response. So demand, price is not responding now. Demand is responding with change in price. I told you, independent variable will not respond now. Independent variable will apply the force. Dependent variable will respond to with the independent variable, right? So demand is responding with the change in price. So demand is elastic. Response ka other name is what? Elastic to price. So demand to price is kya hai? To a force. Price is a force here. I hope till here everyone is now. Now we will try to understand. We are starting this elasticity concept. What is the meaning of elastic? It is the meaning responsive. What is the meaning of elastic? It is the meaning responsive. Now, demand of a good responds to the change in price. Demand of a good respond to the change in price. So we know this as price elasticity of demand, because in the law of demand we are the variable that is in the graph in y-axis independent, it is price. So price of a good, price elasticity of a demand is responding to it, right? So first we will try to understand what is elastic. Elastic is responsive. So we will first have a discussion on price elasticity of demand. So here the word price elasticity of demand means what? Price is putting force, according to that demand is responding to it. Or you can see that demand is responding with the change in price. This is the meaning of price elasticity of demand. It is very easy to understand. Means demand is changing with the change in price. Demand is responding, demand is elastic with the change in price. I hope it is clear now. Now, demand of a good respond to the change in price of the other goods also. We know that demand of a good is also pala. So we have seen price elasticity of demand, but we also know that the demand of other goods which changes, like substitute goods ka, for example, complement goods ka example, that demand for goods respond to the change in price of other goods also. For example, demand of coffee changes with the change in price of tea also. If the price of tea and coffee are what? Tea and coffee, think like that. So effect is called substitute goods. What effect is called? Substitute goods. So whenever due to some substitute goods, the price of other goods gets changes and the response gets changes, the quantity demanded gets changes, it comes to the concept in elasticity. It is cross elasticity of goods. That is cross elasticity of demand. The second factor is cross elasticity of demand. It is related to demand of a good respond to the change in effect of substitute goods. So when the demand of a good respond to the change in price of other goods, price of other goods can be substitute goods, then cross elasticity of goods. Price of other goods, we have read two goods. That's why I have taught you goods itne zyada detail mein in the last class. One is substitute good, one is complement good. So whenever there will be a increase in price of substitute good, price of that good will get quantity demanded of that good get increased. Whenever there will be a decrease in price of complement good, price of price of that good will increase. So we have taken the example of Kindles and ebook. We have taken the example of Pepsi and Coke. You can relate it. So it comes when this with the help of price of other goods, a demand is responding. It comes under the category of cross elasticity. There is a cross elasticity due to the change in price of other goods, that is complement and substitute. The price of that or the quantity demanded of that particular good is affecting. So it is known as something known as cross thing. So it is price elasticity of demand. The third category is demand of good respond to the change in income. With the income also we have seen some normal goods and inferior goods. With the change in income also, there is a demand is responding to it. So whenever there is a response of anything, it comes with the word elastic. right? So we have income elasticity also. The third factors are income. I hope now the things are becoming very much clear to everyone. Income elasticity of demand. Two types are, one is normal goods and another is inferior goods. Because when you will understand that a type of goods, the thing this is demand and supply, things will be very much easy to you, right? So first we will, in elasticity concept, I'm going to teach you what do you understand by price elasticity of demand. First price elasticity, then cross elasticity, then income elasticity. It is very much easy, right? Price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is the change in quantity demanded. It is the change in quantity demanded with the change in price. It is the change in quantity demanded with the change in price. So change in quantity demanded with the change in price is known as price elasticity of demand. How can you say? Because demand is responding with the change in price. Demand is responding with the change in price. Demand is responding with the change in price. Now, so we have understand that demand will respond, and respond, the another name of respond is elasticity with the change in price, right? So the in the numerator there will be change in price elasticity of demand, because demand is responding now with change in price. So in denominator it will come price, change in price, and change in quantity demanded will come in numerator. We usually calculate in percentage, right? Or change is there, so change means delta. Delta means that you will have two value, q2 minus q1, two value, and price also of two value. Changes means that you are changing the rate, that you are changing the rate. Is it clear? Now we will try to understand luxury goods and necessary goods. I have told you now, on the basis of slope there were two goods, that is, one is luxury goods and one is necessary goods. So we have taken the example of big billion day iPhone, in which we have seen the price was not changing that much. The price was not changing that much, but the quantity demanded was changing very much. In big billion day sales of iPhone बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है, there is not that much change in price. In necessary goods we have seen life saving drugs example. If we have a life saving drug example, we have seen that if the price is, even the price will change drastically, quantity demanded will not change that much, right? So in luxury goods we have seen the graph will be flatter, and in necessary goods, on the basis of slope I am talking about, we have seen the graph will be steeper. So the point is written over here only, price change is small, quantity demanded is high. Price change is very much small, change in price is very much small in big billion days iPhone, but the quantity demand is in 10,000 to 10 lakh. Similarly here in life saving drugs, price change is very much huge. Maybe it can be increased to 1,000, but quantity demanded is still very change in quantity demand, not it is quantity demanded, it is change in quantity demanded is very much low, right? Change in that quantity demanded you will still need. So if you will see the price elasticity, price elasticity demand for luxury good, what it will happen? Who will be more, luxury or necessary? Try to think. The formula for price elasticity is change in quantity demand by change in price. Now try to think which of them is more elastic, which of them is elastic. If anyone will ask you question, which of them is elastic, so you will not say कि sir luxury goods are more elastic. ऐसे नहीं बोलेगा. इलास्टिक तो दोनों ही है ना, दोनों ही रिस्पॉन्स कर रहे हैं, इलास्टिक दोनों ही है. Both of them are elastic. You can't choose one. You can say relatively luxury goods are more elastic compared to necessary goods. You can't say that one is inelastic. अरे elastic दोनों है, both are responding with the change in price, but कोई ज्यादा कर रहा है, कोई कम कर रहा है. So we will see luxury goods. If you will take the formula of price elasticity of demand, that is change in quantity demanded with change in price. In luxury goods, for example iPhone, change in quantity demanded is very much high, a very high volume like 10 lakh, right? Change बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है 10 lakh का, but change in price is very much low. Price is up 70 से 56,000. So if the numerator is high and the denominator is low, always the value of PED, price elasticity demand, in luxury goods will be always greater than 1. It is clear? And why I have taken the name here relatively? Relatively means you can't say that this is elastic, this is not. all of them are elastic. Luxury and necessary, both of them are elastic. You can use the word relatively more elastic. This luxury goods is relatively more elastic when you will compare with the necessary goods. Necessary goods is what? Life saving drugs, I've told you. Delta uh, delta QD by delta P. Here the delta QD is low. delta QD लाइफ सेविंग ड्रग्स, चेंज इन डिमांड 3 टैबलेट से 1 ही टैबलेट हुआ था, बहुत कम चेंज हुआ था, लेकिन प्राइस 1 से 100 चला गया था, बहुत हाई. डिनोमिनेटर वैल्यू इज वेरी मच हाई, न्यूमरेटर वैल्यू इज वेरी मच लो, सो इट विल बी लेस देन 1. सो ये रिलेटिवली लेस है, सो इसलिए इसको इनइलास्टिक बोला गया. सो जो रिलेटिवली मोर प्राइस के टुवर्ड्स चेंज हो रहा है उसको इलास्टिक यूज किया गया, एंड रिलेटिवली जो लेस हो रहा है उसको इन इलास्टिक बोला गया. क्या बोला गया? इन इलास्टिक. तो नेसेसरी गुड्स, कीप इन माइंड, पीडी वैल्यू लेस देन 1, it is inelastic goods, and luxury goods that is greater than 1, it is elastic goods. I hope it is clear. So demand does not respond as much as price changes. In this case necessary goods, or here demand respond to price changes. Demand respond to price changes. Quantity demand respond to price changes. Like in big billion day iPhone example and life saving drugs में demand does not respond that much. Quantity demand बहुत ज़्यादा change नहीं हुआ with the change in price. So that's why it is known as inelastic, and the first one is known as elastic. Relatively more मतलब elastic. Relatively less मतलब inelastic. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. Now we will understand the point of demand. It can be of perfectly inelastic. What does it mean, perfectly inelastic? Suppose perfectly inelastic means that the delta QD with delta P, whatever the change in price, there will be no change in quantity demanded. Perfectly means quantity demanded is constant. It's constant. This value is constant. This value is constant. Perfectly inelastic कहने का मतलब क्या हुआ गया कि प्राइस 0 से आप 1 करोड़ भी ले जाओ, लेकिन क्वांटिटी डिमांड में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. देयर इज नो फर्क इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड. सो द परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक मतलब डिमांड जो है, प्राइस की कितना भी चेंज हो रहा है, प्राइस 0 हो, 1 हो, 2 हो, 1 करोड़ हो, डिमांड इज नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू इट. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक. रिलेटिवली इलास्टिक और रिलेटिवली लेस इलास्टिक, रिलेटिवली मोर इलास्टिक की बात नहीं हो रही है. परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक मतलब रिस्पॉन्ड ही नहीं कर रहा है change in demand with change in price. प्राइस बहुत ज्यादा चेंज हो रहा है बट डिमांड रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहा है. दिस इज परफेक्टली नॉन रिस्पॉन्सिव, परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक. एक एग्जांपल से समझेंगे सो ज्यादा बेटर समझ में आएगा. एग्जांपल, पेशेंट ऑफ कैंसर. सपोज डिमांड डज नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड टू द प्राइस. अब अगर समवन इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम कैंसर, 1 टैबलेट ऑफ tacrolimus to live, ठीक है, अर्लियर वाज ₹1 टैबलेट, now it is 100. कोई फर्क पड़ेगा? If you are suffering from cancer, prices, if it will be 10,000 also, you will buy and you will eat. Is it clear? So the quantity demanded for having a tablet if you are suffering from cancer will not change. Even the price is changing drastically. Here यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा भी quantity demand change नहीं हो रहा है. यहाँ पर quantity demand respond ही नहीं कर रहा है with the change in price. उसको चाहिए तो चाहिए. In the case of cancer, 1 tablet is necessary, तो tablet paracetamol की जैसे नहीं कि someday you will have 3 and someday you will have 1. If you are suffering from cancer, तो tacrolimus if you want 1 day per day, whether the price is 10, 100, 1000, 1 crore, you will have for 1 day, right? If you want to live. So that is the example. That is the example of what? Of demand perfectly inelastic. Now, for example, so I hope the perfectly inelastic means demand is not responding with the change in price. So the graph will be like this. The graph will be like this, and delta QD is 0. Why? Because if you will see, change in price is suppose 0 to up 1 crore भी ले जाओ, ये बहुत बड़ी वैल्यू है, ये बहुत बड़ी वैल्यू है, but the denominator is not changing, it is 1. So 1 by ये लगभग 1 के हिसाब से ये infinity value है, 1 by infinity is लगभग 0. So PED in perfectly inelastic is PED equal to 0. This is perfectly inelastic, right? क्योंकि डिमांड की साइड ही देखोगे ना कि क्वांटिटी डिमांड ही फिक्स वैल्यू है ना, एक कॉमन वैल्यू ले लिया कि हाँ को 1 लेना है तो 1 लेना है, 2 लेना है तो 2 लेना है, एक कांस्टेंट वैल्यू हो गया. अब भले इसकी प्राइस कितनी भी चेंज हो, राइट? सो दिस इज कटिंग द ग्राफ ऑफ QD. I hope it is clear. Now try to understand the second case. Suppose For example, you are going to USA from India. You are going from USA to India. Now what you will do? Now if you are going, a person, you are going from USA to India to USA. Now suppose an example I'm telling you here, the check on if you will see that airport going to USA, earlier there was two currency exchange kiosk. There is a currency exchange kiosk. Suppose that $1 is for rupees 85, and here the $1 is rupees for rupees 84, right? Is it clear? Here you are going to USA, and going to USA, earlier you said that there is a two currency kiosk, $1 for rupees 85 and $1 for rupees 84. So what will happen? There is a slight change in price, only 1 rupees is being changed. Everyone will go and purchase from here only, how it will happen? Right? Because you will check on the phone that the $1 is rupees 84, and this kiosk is exchanging the currency at $1 for 84 and $1 for 85. And maybe one person, if he's traveling from India to USA, they can check their exchange rate, suppose at IGI Delhi. At IGI Delhi, both of the kiosk is having the same value. For $1 they are giving 85 rupees only. But he but he knows that in USA there are two kiosk. One kiosk is giving $1 for 85, and one kiosk is giving $1 for 84. Those who are going from Delhi to USA, now with only minute change in price, everyone will reach to USA airport to this exchange kiosk. Why? Because it is just slightly less. So everyone will purchase from here only. So ठीक है, so यही मैंने लिखा, he will go to the USA for the exchange case currency. So now try to understand what was the here only. Here there is a very small change in price, +1, बट क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड पूरी की पूरी दिल्ली की आबादी जो एक्सचेंज करेंसी एक्सचेंज करनी चाहती थी, वो सारी उठ के कहाँ चले जाएंगी? यूएसए के सेकंड नंबर के कियोस्क के एक्सचेंज रेट पे. यस, तो देयर इज अ ह्यूज चेंज इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड, इनफिनाइट चेंज हो गया. मे बी 10,000 पीपल वर देयर, स्लाइटली +1 की चेंज की वजह से all the 9,800 people goes to there, right? So here demand is completely responding with the small change in price, very minute change in price, and demand is responding to it. So it is perfectly responding a small change in price. So it is known as perfectly elastic. It is not responding with the change in price, it is highly responding with the change in price. So airport kiosk example you can take for exchange rate of currency for this reference, right? So when you will study this, so what is the value of PED? What is the formula of PED? PED means price elasticity of demand with change in quantity demanded by change in price. So change in quantity demand is of infinite, means all of the people, we can take this huge number as infinite, and there is a very small change that is +1. So the value of PED is infinite. So when the condition is of price elasticity, it will cut to the price. So this value, even with the change in, even the price is changed in a very small point, there is a huge change in the quantity demanded. You can take the average, just for example, you can just understand it right now. So we are here to understand that there is a very small change in price, huge change in quantity demanded. Quantity demanded responds perfectly to the price. This is perfectly elastic. I hope it is clear till here. So there are two things other than relatively more elastic, relatively less elastic. Relatively less elastic is also known as inelastic, right? And relatively more elastic is known as elastic. There two more things were there. Then one thing is perfectly elastic, means demand curve PED is change in quantity demanded is infinite, and there is a very small change in price, very small, very small change. To graph will look like this. So this is known as perfectly elastic. And one is perfectly inelastic, just the example of the person who was suffering from cancer, right? There is no change in demand, right? If he needs one tablet, he will need one tablet in spite of the drastic change in price, right? So it is PED equal to 0. So you should remember, for perfectly inelastic case, price elasticity demand equal to 0, or perfectly elastic case, price elasticity of demand equal to infinite. So one condition and the graph is look like this, you should remember. Now, so one more case we have read, elastic. Elastic means more relatively more elastic, relatively elastic, relatively more elastic, that is elastic only condition. Relatively less elastic, जैसे हमने luxury good और necessary goods में देखा, we have seen the example of cancer, that is inelastic, perfectly inelastic, and we have seen the example of airport, that is perfectly elastic responding. So इसमें PED infinite होता है, इसमें PED 0 होता है, you should remember. One more in this elasticity concept is unit elastic. Unit elastic itself suggests that there will be an equal change in with the change in price, there will the quantity demand will respond equally, right? So change in quantity demanded with change in price is equally. For example, if you increase the price by 10%, quantity demanded will also decrease by, because it has an inverse variation, decrease by the change in price. So PED is unit elastic is very much easy, that the value of price elasticity of demand, because price elasticity of demand is del Q by del P. So there, if it is increasing by 10%, so it will decrease by 10%. So it will balance it. So the value of PED, price elasticity of demand, in unit elasticity, it is 1, right? It is 1. Now try to understand this. Now try to understand this. So I have written down everything in one context. Luxury goods, obviously relatively elastic. Yes, you can understand why relative luxury goods. There is a very small, large change in quantity demanded with very small change in price, right? Is it clear? So always the PED will be greater than 1. PED will be greater than 1. I told you. Necessary goods, I told you, steeper curve. Okay. So relatively non-elastic, yeah, inelastic. You can say relatively non-elastic, yeah, inelastic, right? PED, where the quantity demanded will change small and price will change large. So PED will be less than 1, PED will be less than 1, QD by, you can relate it, you can, मतलब ये for more analytic मैंने कर दिया है, आप ये खुद से भी कर सकते हो, बस आपको याद रखना PED is less than 1 in relatively inelastic, PED is greater than 1 in relatively more elastic, that is inelastic या नॉन इलास्टिक रिलेटिवली नेसेसरी गुड का होता है, एंड लग्जरी गुड्स का इलास्टिक रिलेटिवली मोर इलास्टिक होता है. तो उसमें पीईडी ग्रेटर देन 1 होता है, इसमें पीईडी लेस देन 1 होता है. ऑफ यूनिट, so we have seen the concept of unit elastic also, where there will be equal response with a change in price. The quantity demand will respond equally. If the price is increasing 10%, the demand will decrease by 10%. So it is QD equal to QP. So graph will look like this, right? You can understand it. Now, perfect inelastic, right? Like the cancer patient, you should remember. Change in quantity demanded is not responding with whatever change in price, is not responding. So here PED equal to 0. You can very small change in huge change in price. Perfectly elastic means within a small change in price, quantity demand is changing drastically huge, infinite times. That you can take the example of airport, right? So here and here, the PED value is infinite. So you should remember PED greater than 1, relatively elastic, PED less than 1, relatively inelastic, PED equal to 1, unit elastic, PED equal to 0, perfectly inelastic, PED equal to infinite, perfectly elastic. Is it clear? Is it clear? So price elasticity of demand related to all types methods, it is clear. Now the implication is that you will use this thing for revenue generated for a good. How you will generate a revenue? Obviously you will have a price of good and you will quantity of good that is being sold. Quantity of good that has been sold means जो भी demand होगा वही sold होगा ना, तो sold वाली चीज demanded होती है, तो यहाँ आप quantity good sold या quantity demanded लिख सकते हो. So price of a good होगा and quantity of a good sold, वही total revenue is telling that. तो implication क्या है for calculating the total revenue. Is it clear? So you should remember this thing. You should remember this thing, that price this is a concept that you can be asked, price elasticity of demand point method. A point method has been described. It is very much normal. You can understand. This is a point elasticity of demand, lower segment by upper segment, lower segment by upper segment. If you are coming from upper segment to lower segment, your elasticity will decrease, right? Here is a demand, here is a point. So at this point, if you will see at point A, if you will see what is the quantity demanded is lagbhag 0, but the price is very much high. So what case is we will see? What case you can see over here? What case you can see over here? ठीक है, क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड है ही नहीं, प्राइस बहुत ज्यादा है, सो इट इज ऑफ इनफाइनाइट. इज इट क्लियर? इट इज ऑफ इनफाइनाइट. ठीक है, 0/इंफिनिटी, प्राइस इज लगभग बहुत ज्यादा और क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड है ही नहीं, तो इनइलास्टिक का है, इनइलास्टिक का कंडीशन है, परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक, परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक यू कैन सी. ठीक है, अपर सेगमेंट, लोअर सेगमेंट बाय अपर सेगमेंट, लोअर सेगमेंट क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड, देख लो पॉइंट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. यहाँ क्यूडी की वैल्यू क्या है? 0 लगभग एट दिस पॉइंट ए, एंड प्राइस बहुत ज्यादा है, तो ये इन्फिनिटी. तो ये कैसा केस हो जाता है? परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक, जहां रिस्पॉन्ड ही नहीं करता है क्वांटिटी डिमांड विद चेंज इन प्राइस. प्राइस बहुत चेंज हो रहा है बट क्वांटिटी डिमांड कुछ है ही नहीं. इस केस में देखो, इस केस में yes, at this case price elasticity, price elasticity is responding with the change in price. Price elasticity is responding with the change in price. So here it is ed greater than 1, ed equal to 1, ed less than 1, and ed equal to 1. So at each point you can check and you can easily understand कि आप inelastic के तरफ से कहाँ जाते हो, कहाँ जाते हो, right? So you can understand these things. So this is a point form in which, so basically you can see that you are coming from elastic things to inelastic, ed equal to 0. So you will, when you will go from upward to downward, right, upward to downward, you will see that your elasticity get decreased. This just lower segment by upper segment is telling that your elasticity is getting decreased as you are going in a downward slope, as you are going in your downward slope. Here I have, by mistake I have told you ed infinity means that your elasticity is highly elastic. It is not inelastic case, it is highly elastic case here. So here it is highly elastic, matlab highly elastic means perfectly elastic. Here it is relatively more elastic, here it is unit elastic, here it is relatively less elastic. ठीक है, relative मतलब inelastic या non elastic, और यहाँ perfectly inelastic. By mistake I have told you, in this case first one with ed infinity, it is means perfectly elastic it is. So while if you will go down, it will get decreased, your elasticity will get decreased. This is what price elasticity of demand point method is talking about, and the formula is lower segment by upper segment, and this graph you can see midpoint पे unit elasticity it will change. Now total revenue एक method है, तो price elasticity, price inelasticity and यूनिट प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी. इफ व्हाट टोटल रेवेन्यू किस में ज्यादा होगा, ध्यान से देखो, इफ इंक्रीज इन प्राइस, प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी में क्या होता है? फॉर्मूला इज जस्ट रख दो ना, डेल क्यू डी बाई डेल पी. सो प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी में क्या होता है? पीईडी इज ग्रेटर देन 1, it is greater than 1. Is it clear? It is greater than 1. So what will happen? If there will be the increase in price, if there will be an increase in price, there will be a reduce in total revenue. Yes, of course, because how the PD can be greater than 1? Obviously, but ये denominator छोटा होगा. In the case of elasticity, demand is more, na, price is less. So if price is less, so you should remember that the increase in price will reduce the revenue, and decrease in price it will increase the total revenue. In price elasticity you have to remember this. Now price inelastic, if increase in price level increases the total revenue. In inelastic means it is not responding with the change in price, the quantity demanded is not responding. So what it will do, it will increase the price, increases the total revenue. ठीक है, if you will decrease the price, decreases the total revenue. Unit price elasticity में increase in price, no change in total revenue, decrease in price, no change in total revenue. This point, just because the previous year questions has been asked in with these 2 points, so you should remember these 2 points, right? So you should remember this 2 point regarding the total revenue, because I have seen the previous year questions regarding to it. So now this in IFSC and SEBI paper. So this you should remember that while coming from upward to downward, elasticity decreases from perfectly elastic, from ed equal to 0 it is coming inelastic. So earlier I used to say wrong, so just remind, just I am correcting it. So it is, while decreasing it is getting less elastic from lower to higher, from lower to lower segment. If we are reaching to from lower segment if you are going to upper segment, elasticity ulta bhi you can say, opposite you can also say, lower to higher jaoge to elasticity is increasing, higher to lower jaoge to elasticity is decreasing. Ed infinite means you are more elastic, ed greater than 1 you are relatively more elastic, ed1 means unit elastic, ed less means relatively less elastic, ed0 means relative perfectly non-elastic. So it is perfectly elastic, relatively more elastic, unit elastic, relatively inelastic and perfectly non-elastic. So नीचे से ऊपर elasticity बढ़ रही है, ऊपर से नीचे price elasticity घट रही है. And you should remember this thing for total revenue. Total revenue का formula क्या है? Price into quantity of demanded sold. Is it clear? So you will remember this. Now, as we have discussed as we have known the price elasticity of demand completely, there are some determinants which are impacting the price elasticity of demand. सबसे पहला है number of substitutes. Number of substitutes is the factor that is the determinant or a factor you can say of price elasticity of demand, right? Like we used to say in demand factors. So there are some determinants which are impacting of price elasticity of demands. First one is number of substitutes. Goods that have substitutes, many alternatives available. गुड्स जिनके बहुत सारे अल्टरनेटिव अवेलेबल होते हैं, will it be inelastic or elastic? Try to think. Stop the video and try to think. Goods which have many substitutes, when if I change the price of one good, people will go for the different options. Is it true? So it will be a elastic good. It will be a elastic good. So it is the determinant. So number of substitutes is the determinant for price elasticity of demand. So obviously, if we will increase the price, people will go for substitute goods. It will go for different products, right? So it is a elastic good. Always it will number of substitutes अगर ज़्यादा होंगे, तो always the PED value should be greater than 1. You should remember quantity demanded is always greater than the change in price. ठीक है? So this price elasticity it will never be inelastic if there will be number of goods available for a particular good. अगर बहुत सारे substitutes available हैं, so every time that good will be elastic. This question can be asked. If there is a number of substitutes available for a good, whether that good will be elastic or inelastic. Obviously it will be elastic good. It will be relatively more elastic goods, right? Options ज़्यादा हैं, तो आप substitute good का कहानी जानते ही हो कि if the price of a substitute good will increase, demand for its own good will also increase. Is it clear? The price increase करेगा तो demand भी increase करेगा, so that's why PED will always greater than 1. Is it clear? Second is luxury or necessary goods. You have seen luxury goods का example iPhone हमेशा याद रखना, you will never get confused. Big Billion Day. Luxury goods are more elastic. Why? Because change in price is small. Change in price is small and change in quantity demanded is huge. So it is elastic. Necessary goods, what do you understand by necessary goods? Change in price is huge, change in quantity demanded is small, so it is inelastic. Is it clear? So luxury goods or necessary goods, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now these are luxury goods, necessary goods, and the number of substitute goods are the factors, are the determinants of price elasticity of demand. Now time period. What do you understand by time period? It is very much important to understand. If the price of petrol is increasing, right? If the price of petrol is increasing, it is elastic or inelastic? It is elastic or inelastic? If the price is increasing, the quantity demand will decrease now. So it will be inelastic, relatively inelastic, right? Because PED value will be less than 1. But after 3 years, there is a new car, more car options is available, petrol and EV. So what do you think? People will have more petrol car or EV car? So obviously now petrol is elastic, and EV option is also available, right? Petrol is elastic and EV option is also available. So what is then this inelastic? People will demand less petrol car. So now from inelastic with the time period of 6 years or 7 years where there will be on options of EV, it will change. I told you na, जहाँ substitutes options ज़्यादा आने लगेंगे, it will change to elastic. So this time the petrol is inelastic because if the price will increase, quantity demand will decrease of petrol car. But as the options will increase, EV आ जाएगा, बहुत सारे कार के options आ जाएंगे. So price आप पेट्रोल की कितनी भी बढ़ाते जाओगे, it will change to elastic. People will go for the alternate option. So time period is also a reason for, also a determinant or a factor for price elasticity of demand. So more amount of time period, more time to respond to the price change, more time to the respond to the price change. Price changes over a long time, consumers will find substitutes, learn to live without it. Example, petrol prices or LPG prices. You can easily relate with it, right? So time pay first is first is I told you number of substitutes. Second is luxury goods, right, and accessory goods, right. Third is impacting time period, and fourth one is proportion of income. Proportion of income is very much example. For example, today flight ticket from Delhi to Mumbai is rupees 4,000. After 30 years, suppose from now, from 30 years, flight ticket from Delhi to Mumbai is 40,000, right? For you, will the response will change? What will, if today is the price is 4,000 and after 30 years also it is 40,000, what you will do? Your response will be that you will respond with a change in price. Okay, elastic, I will find alternative. When there will be a elastic thing, you will find an alternative things. Okay, no, I will not go with now flight, I will go with train, because 40,000 from 4,000 is a huge jump, right? So you won't be go, you will see for the alternative options, and your things will be that the quantity demanded with the change in price will be greater than one. But what for the case of Ambani ji? अंबानी जी के इनकम का ये 4 से 4,000, अगर उनकी कोई कॉमन चीज है, कोई इंपॉर्टेंट मीटिंग है, भले प्राइस कितनी भी बढ़ जाए, उनकी इनकम की इतनी परसेंट भी नहीं होगी. फॉर देम दिस थिंग, proportion of income, for them this change in price level of flight is inelastic. He will not search for the alternate option, he will book the ticket simply and will go. So basically for Ambani ji, the response with the change in price is not that much. He will still go with the flight. But for us, for a common consumers like us, response for from 4,000 to 40,000 in the change in price, our quantity demanded will change. We will not go with flight, we will see for some alternate options. So it depending upon the proportion of income one is having. For Ambani ji it is inelastic, for us it is elastic. I hope it is clear now. I hope it is clear now. So you can understand from here only, I have written down here that the proportion of income, price of a good, airline tickets increase, Ambani ji almost same inelastic, but for us it is elastic. It is elastic. For us it is elastic. Okay? Is it clear? The fifth factor that is impacting the price elasticity of demand is addiction product. Addiction product means habit forming, addictive products we are using, habit forming or addictive products we are using. Usually what they are, even there will be a very much change in price, still we are addicted to it. Still we are addicted to it, so we will demand it. So it even the price will go 1,000, we are addicted, we are habitual to it. Quantity demand mein koi, there is no fark on that, right? So habit forming addictive tickets, alcohol, cigarette, government, ठीक है, it is inelastic in nature. इसीलिए government usually, you can think, try to tax more on alcohol, cigarettes, because वो inelastic product है. Quantity demand will not respond that much with the change in price level. Even the price level will get approached, quantity demand will still remain ये. बट ओनियन, ये सब पे जो एडिक्टिव प्रोडक्ट नहीं होते हैं, उनके प्राइस लेवल पे, वेजिटेबल्स वगैरह पे चेंजेस पे, यू विल सी द डिमांड विल चेंजिंग. इट इज इलास्टिक काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग, राइट? यू कैन रिलेट इट. बट जो हैबिचुअल आपकी हैबिट लगे, एडिक्टिव नेचर की चीजें लाइक अल्कोहल, सिगरेट्स, राइट, सो दीज आर इन इलास्टिक नेचर, बिकॉज वहां पीडी की वैल्यू लेस देन 1 है, राइट, लेस देन 1, बिकॉज क्वांटिटी डिमांड पे कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा विद चेंज इन प्राइस. आज अगर 10 रुपए की सिगरेट मिल रही है, कल if the cigarette is selling up to 20 rupees also, you will buy because you are have an addiction. So inelastic products पे usually government tax करते हैं. इसलिए total revenue का एक questions बहुत अच्छा बनता है इससे, कि taxes ज्यादा किस पे लगता है, elastic goods, inelastic goods किस पे लगता है. So it's completely inelastic goods because वो inelastic in nature है, they will not respond with the change in price. So government अगर उस पे tax लगाएगा, so government can earn over there from here. So example, addicted smoking, increase in cigarettes, also they are demerit goods. They are demerit goods ना. addictive products क्या होते हैं? demerit होता है. demerit मतलब जो addiction से related चीजें होते हैं. respond same amount of cigarette, inelastic goods. I hope it is clear to all of you now. All of you. Fifth one is also clear. Now price elasticity of demand is clear, right? I hope it is clear. So I hope everyone is aware of what is price elasticity of demand. What are the factors, determinants, number of substitute, luxury or necessary, proportional of income, time period, addiction product. We have seen this also. You have to keep in mind what are the factors which are impacting price elasticity of demand. Now we are going to the second concept of elasticity after price elasticity, that is cross elasticity of demand. So I have told you cross elasticity demand is the concept with the change in price of not that good, अदर गुड्स के प्राइस चेंज में ये क्वांटिटी डिमांड रिस्पॉन्स करता है. अदर गुड्स आर व्हाट? सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स एंड कॉम्प्लीमेंट गुड्स. अदर गुड्स आर व्हाट? सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स एंड कॉम्प्लीमेंट गुड्स. So this cross elasticity of demand is for price change with other goods, not for the same good, right? So other goods mein concept we have read in the last class, that is substitute and complement goods, that you have to keep in your mind. Maybe you will see that some of the institutes are giving the various formulas for this, but there is no need to understand that. Just you need to, some basic questions are been asked, and if some type of numericals will be asked, I will tell you in the revision batches. Just you need to, concept is that similar only. Change in quantity demanded, change in quantity demanded with the change in price of other good. Other good is what? It is easy to understand. This is, one is substitute and one is complement. So we will try to understand. So cross है, इसीलिए the formula is like XED, not PED, it is XED we call, and change a percentage होता है, you know. And यहाँ price of, यहाँ डेल्टा P बस नहीं है, डेल्टा P other good, and other good में what are the conditions of other good? That is, one is substitute good and one is complement good. So substitute good is what kind of a goods? We used to remember substitute good में Coke and Pepsi के examples तुरंत you should keep in your mind, right? So price of a substitute good, if it increase, quantity of a good क्या होता है? क्वांटिटी ऑफ अ गुड क्या होता है? इंक्रीज करता है कि डिक्रीज करता है? ट्राई टू स्टॉप द वीडियो एंड थिंक. मैंने कोक अगर पेप्सी, अगर कोक का डिमांड है, पेप्सी का प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, तो कोक का डिमांड भी बढ़ जाएगा, डिमांड इंक्रीजेस. सो हियर क्या होता है कि इफ द प्राइस ऑफ अ, डिनोमिनेटर में क्या, प्राइस ऑफ अदर गुड, तो प्राइस ऑफ अदर गुड क्या है? प्राइस ऑफ सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड, मतलब सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड. कोक, अगर पेप्सी का प्राइस बढ़ा तो ये पॉजिटिव है, इंक्रीज इन प्राइस मतलब पॉजिटिव, तो जो उस प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड है वो बढ़ जाएगा, कोक का डिमांड बढ़ जाता है, तो ये भी पॉजिटिव, ये भी पॉजिटिव. इसीलिए प्राइस क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ जो सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स होता है वो इंक्रीज करता है, क्योंकि दिस इज आल्सो पॉजिटिव, दिस इज आल्सो पॉजिटिव, एंड ये पॉजिटिव रहता है. दिस यू शुड कीप इन योर माइंड फॉर योर ऑब्जेक्टिव आंसर. प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी, सॉरी, क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ गुड, cross elasticity of demand, cross elasticity of demand for substitute good is increasing. With the increase in price, quantity of that good also increases. So with increase of the price of the substitute good, with the increase of the price of the substitute good, quantity of that good also get increases. ये भी positive, right? So cross elasticity of demand is increasing and it is positive for substitute good. I hope it is clear. Similarly, for example of cross elasticity of demand, for example of complement good, if you remember, when the price of complement group was increasing, if the Kindle's price got increased, we will demand less na than ebooks का demand फिर हम less कर देंगे. If the price of a complement good decreases, तब हम ebook का demand ज्यादा कर रहे थे. So similarly in this case of complement good, price is increasing, price is positive, but the demand is decreasing. So decreasing चीज को what we indicate? Negative. Decreasing चीज को what we indicate? Negative. So negative by positive is also decrease, negative for complement good. So you should remember these two things very much clearly. Whenever you will talk about the cross elasticity of demand, you will talk cross elasticity of demand, you will talk about the change in quantity demanded by price of other good. And there are two category of price of other good. First is substitute good and second is complement. Substitute good, with the increase in price, quantity demanded of that good will also increase. So positive by positive, quantity be positive, price be positive, positive by positive. So cross elasticity of demand for substitute good is positive. That only you should keep in your mind. So cross elasticity for when we talk about the complement good, if we increase the price of a complement good, the demand for of its complement good will decrease, right? Complement good will decrease. So in price it is positive because we are increasing the price of a complement good, but numerator quantity demanded get decrease of that product. right, of that product quantity demanded, like ebook, if the price of Kindle will increase 5000 की जगह 10000 होता था, तो ebook आप कम डिमांड ही करते, तो डिक्रीज हो गया, डिक्रीज का मतलब नेगेटिव. So the cross elasticity demand for complement good is negative, right? You should keep this in mind. इतना ही concept है cross elasticity of demand में. Is it clear? So you should remember, therefore the negative cross elasticity of demand is negative for what? Complement goods, and positive for what? Substitute good. I hope it is clear now. So there is income elasticity of demand. The third category and the final category is income elasticity. I told you on the basis of income, we also have two kinds of a goods, that one is normal and one is normal and one is, tell me, inferior, right? Okay, please have a revision, right? So it will have a respond to income in change. It will respond to change in income. Whatever there will be a change in income, according to that, if इनकम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड क्या होगा? डिमांड इज रिस्पॉन्डिंग विद द, इलास्टिसिटी का मतलब क्या होता है? आई टोल्ड यू, रिस्पॉन्स. डिमांड इज रिस्पॉन्सिंग विद द चेंज इन इनकम. और यहाँ क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी का मतलब क्या हुआ? डिमांड इज रिस्पॉन्डिंग विद द चेंज इन प्राइस ऑफ अदर गुड्स. ये समझना है, ठीक है? इनकम इलास्टिसिटी का बहुत सीधा सीधी मतलब है प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी जैसा, ये सिंपल है, राइट? कि यहाँ डिमांड इज रिस्पॉन्डिंग, इलास्टिसिटी को चेंज करो, रिस्पॉन्स से बस, रिस्पॉन्डिंग विद द चेंज इन income. Here the force is applying by not by price of other goods. Here the force is being applied by income to demand to get response, right? So respond to change in income. I hope it is clear now. So there are two kind of a goods in which we usually see. One is normal good. Normal goods are basically, normal goods के अंदर ही ये चीज आता है बेटा, luxury goods on the basis of slope जो मैंने बताया था, और necessary goods, right? Normal goods के अंदर ही luxury, ये जो iPhone होते हैं, these are नॉर्मल गुड्स ओनली, एंड नेसेसरी गुड्स जो टैबलेट्स वगैरह हम यूज करते हैं, दीज आर ये. अब लग्जरी गुड्स को हमने देख रखा है, नेसेसरी गुड्स को देख रखा है, सो वी विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ठीक है? एग्जांपल, ठीक है? एंड एग्जांपल 2 इज इंफीरियर गुड्स. एग्जांपल 2 इज इंफीरियर. देयर आर टू काइंड्स ऑफ गुड्स ना अंडर इनकम कैटेगरी. वन इज नॉर्मल, नॉर्मल के अंदर ही लग्जरी एंड नेसेसरी आता है, एंड इंफीरियर गुड्स होता है. तो पहले हम देखते हैं, थोड़ा सा एग्जांपल 1 को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि as your income increases, as your income, आज आप suppose करो you are earning 1 lakh rupees and tomorrow you are earning 2 lakh rupees, what will happen to the demand of inferior goods? It will obviously decrease ना. आपको मैं कहता है ना, अनब्रांडेड शूज आप कम लोगे, डिक्रीज करेगा विद द इंक्रीज इन इनकम, ठीक है? सो तो यहाँ पर आप फॉर्मूला क्या लिखोगे? ये जो YED का फॉर्मूला होगा बेटा, ये YED का फॉर्मूला यही होगा. इसको इनकम को Y से लिखते हैं, क्रॉस को X से और प्राइस को P से. तो YED, व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला ऑफ YED? ऊपर तो सेम ही रहेगा, चेंज इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड, बट नीचे PD के केस में चेंज इन प्राइस था. In case of cross elasticity, it is change in price of other good. In case of income elasticity, it will be similarly change in price. Change in income. Only the change in income. So whenever your income is getting increased, your income is changing twice. So it is positive. What happens with the quantity demanded in case of inferior good I am talking about? Just tell me about the inferior good. Okay, it will decrease. Decrease we indicate with negative. Decrease we indicate it with negative. So YED, income elasticity of demand, in case of inferior good is negative, or it will decrease. It will have a decrease value. I hope it is clear. It is negative or it will have a decrease value. Now, if you will, for necessary good, if you will think about, if your income is 2x, what happened to necessary goods? Go down, ठीक है? Go up to 2x या go up 2x. Think about necessary goods. What will the formula of price elasticity? What will be the formula of, wait a minute. Okay, yes. So what will happen in the case of necessary goods, right? Necessary goods, if your income is 2 times, what will happen? Necessary goods में think, so try to think. When your income is increasing, obviously you will not buy that much necessary goods, right? It will be increasing. You will demand for quantity of necessary good, but 2x time increase नहीं कर जाएगा, right? So obviously the numerator is 2x and the denominator can be 1x. Only maybe you will increase necessary goods like नेसेसरी गुड्स. आपको मैंने समझा रखा है ना नेसेसरी गुड्स क्या हो गया, जैसे पैरासीटामोल, लाइफ सेविंग ड्रग्स वगैरह, सॉल्ट वगैरह. अब बहुत ज्यादा नमक थोड़ी खरीदने लगोगे when your income will get increased, राइट। आप नमक, शुगर, राशन ये सब बहुत ज्यादा खरीदने थोड़ी लोगे, जितना क्वांटिटी नीडेड है उतना ही खरीदोगे। सो उतना ज्यादा ड्रास्टिकली चेंज नहीं आएगा फॉर नेसेसरी गुड्स। नॉर्मल गुड्स के अंदर मैंने बताया ना दो कैटेगरी है, नेसेसरी और लग्जरी, राइट। तो नेसेसरी गुड्स में विद द इंक्रीज इन इनकम देयर विल बी नॉट दैट मच चेंज इन quantity demanded, right? It will be positive but not that much change. So YED in case of YED it is positive, but in case of necessary goods it will be less than 1. Why? Because the numerator is, I told you, the income has been increased by twice, but quantity demanded for the basic necessary goods won't change. Necessary goods में आपको मैंने बता दिया है कि quantity demanded won't change that much with the change in price, right? So बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, पॉजिटिव रहेगा बट बहुत ज्यादा नहीं। Is it clear? But what happens when the income is twice and you are going for luxury goods? What happens when the income is twice and you are going for luxury goods? Obviously your quantity demanded for luxury goods, will be positive but more than 2। हो सकता है कि when your income is increasing, like for example of iPhone, you are demanding more luxury items you are demanding। so even your income has been increased 2x, आप हो सकता है क्रेडिट कार्ड वगैरह यूज करके you will demand for more luxury items because आपको एक subconscious में ये feelings, you have the feeling that oh my income has been increased so I have to buy। so the income elasticity of demand for the luxury goods is also positive but it is more than 1, so it is greater than 1। YED is greater than 1 for luxury goods। I hope it is clear now। So this is the straight line from which you can easily understand income elasticity of demand। Only the two things are there in inferior or normal goods। Normal goods may we have a category of necessary and luxury। So here I have taken, this is a decree I have plot a number line, you can easily plot income elasticity of demand over here। Here is a negative value, here is a 0 value, and here is a 1 value। Negative value किस में आ रहा था? Which kind of a good? In income elasticity, with the increase in elasticity your quantity demand is decreasing, ये inferior goods। तो inferior goods it is coming over here in minus से लेके 0 तक जो भी value होगा, here inferior goods is coming in। These are the two example of normal goods in income elasticity of demand। These are the two example of normal goods। so normal goods में दो category मैंने बताया, एक necessary और एक luxury। YED लेस देन 1 किस में होता है? इनकम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड लेस देन 1 किस में होता है कि इनकम बढ़ी है बट बहुत ज्यादा नेसेसरी गुड्स में हम खर्च नहीं कर रहे हैं, दैट इज नेसेसरी गुड्स ऑप्शन, दैट इज इनकम इनइलास्टिक। सो हियर द इनकम इज इनइलास्टिक इन नेचर बिकॉज YED इज लेस देन 1। आई टोल्ड यू ना, जब भी YED लेस देन 1 होता है तो रिलेटिवली लेस इलास्टिक, और रिलेटिवली लेस इलास्टिक को ही हम बोलते हैं इनइलास्टिक। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर इनकम के रिस्पेक्ट से हम बोल सकते हैं फॉर नेसेसरी गुड्स इनकम के रिस्पेक्ट से इट इज इनकम इन इलास्टिक। नाउ फॉर सेम लग्जरी गुड ऑब्वियसली it is YED I have seen greater than 1, so it is income elastic, it is also income elastic। so this is the number line you can draw in one page, you can understand the income elasticity of demand clearly। I hope these things are very much clear, to everyone, right? With the increase in so there are some things that we should learn। so the crux is very much important, price elasticity of demand having the various types that you should remember, even you can imply it on income elasticity also। 5 cases were with PED greater than 1, PED less than 1, right? PD greater than 1 is relatively elastic, PD less than 1 relatively inelastic, PD 1 equal to unit elastic, PD 0 perfectly inelastic, PD infinity perfectly elastic। ठीक है, and total revenue का formula and revenue के हिसाब से inelastic, elastic and everything you should to see। now this is the summary in graph that you can easily understand। essential, right, n equal to 0, basic or necessity less than 1, necessary good में मैंने बताया, luxury good n equal to greater than 1 and inferior and less than ये। तो ये ग्राफ से, this graph usually you can understand the income elasticity, you can easily understand, map this in graph or using the number line also। now there are some basic questions, we have completed the law of demand topic and elasticity of demand। so there are some questions that you need to answer। the first question is, the dash states that this is only the previous year questions, the dash states that other factors being constant ceteris paribus price, the quantity demanded of a good and services are inversely related to each other. Law of demand, law of supply, law of diminishing marginal utility, law of variable proportion, none of this. किस में बोला गया कि QD is inversely proportional to 1 by price? Which states that the other factor being constant, मैंने बता रखा है, price and quantity demanded of any good and services are inversely related to each other. This is law of demand. So see the type of questions they are asking and the content we are covering, right? Second, if the demand curve is downward sloping, it reflects the law of demand, which states that the quantity demand is inversely proportional to width. Directly you can mark price. Now this, so see the content we are covering. Wait. Okay. Which of the following statement is correct if demand function is D equal to 18 minus 3P? Demand function shows functional relationship between quantity supplied for a commodity and its various determinants. The quantity demanded is directly proportional. This is, we don't know. Quantity supply nahi padhaya abhi maine. The quantity demanded is directly related to price of the, directly related to quantity demanded. It is correct, incorrect. For the given demand function, maximum price is 6 and demand curve is linear with slope -3. With slope -3. So I have told you the equation, that is QDX equal to minus MPY plus C. This is the equation I told you. This is the equation I told you. Tell me. This is the equation I have told you. So here you can find it out when you will take this QDX, okay, as a function, and you are taking this slope. So you will, if you will see this, the equation is given. So you can relate it, if you will write this equation as D equal to minus 3P plus 18. So you can convert this into, so yeah, M is only the slope. So minus M equal to -3. So my value of M is -3 only. So this option is correct. Slope is -3. And demand curve is linear. Obviously, this equation is a linear line curve. So maximum price is 6. Maximum price 6. Also, you can calculate how. When you, I will teach you market equilibrium, you will equate it and it will be 0. So you will see that it is 0 equal to 3P minus 3P plus 18. वहाँ चला जाएगा. So price will be 18 by 3, that is 6. So price will be 6. So pricks. So this option is correct, right? So and the above equation is curvy linear. Curvy linear नहीं होता, linear होता है, none of the above. So you can see how easily you can solve everything by this concept. By this concept, slope is obviously, if you know QDX equal to minus PY plus C, then you can easily solve. Which of the following shows the relationship between the price and quantity demanded? Very much easy. Cost, market, demand, supply, elasticity. Tell me which of the following show the relationship between price and quantity demanded? Relationship between price and quantity demanded. Quantity demanded and relationship with price. ठीक है, देखो यहाँ अगर price elasticity of demand लिखा रहता, then you should tick the price elasticity of demand option. But here the option is not given of price elasticity. It has been bus told elasticity. It can be price elasticity also. It can be cross elasticity demand also. It can be income elasticity also. So which kind of elasticity it is talking about, we can't say. IBPS ऐसे ही questions पूछता है to confuse. So you will say only demand, because you know in when demand is related to the price. So quantity demand is relation to shows the demand relation, not the elasticity relation. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? ठीक है. So thank you so much. Keep learning. Bye. We will meet in the next class of supply. So I hope you are liking these sessions.